continue this conversation. For more on Disney's dominance or whether they'll stay dominant in the state of the box office is Paul Dergarabedian. He is the senior media analyst at Comscore. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I have actually just a question. Julie can answer this as well. Has the Rotten Tomatoes number gotten any better or worse over the weekend? Because you'd think that there'd be a lot more people who could technically
there are two
vote,
scores.
right?
There's the critic score, and then there's the audience score.
Okay.
The critic score was going between sort of 56, 58%, sort of hovering below that 60% mark. The audience score was much better. It was like an 86%, but still a B+. Yes. So audiences like it more than critics. And oftentimes with these movies, you have a big conflict between what audiences and critics think. But it's still, the audience response is not as good as for the prior two Star Wars films.
Hey, Paul. I have Tom. I have a question. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I have to agree with that. I think when the critic score is low, yet the audience score is high, that hopefully we can see this film build over the coming week. And as Julia said, this is a really important corridor. According to our Comscore data, I mean, this week could be $500 million or more, which will add to that revenue. We're running about 4.6% behind last year, which was a record-breaking year, but we're going to wind up with around $11.45 billion in North America. That'll be the second biggest box office year ever.
Tom had a very smart point. You did couple 45 minutes ago.
That makes one.
No, where he said, "Look, why is it that Frozen and the Star Wars movie coming out so close together? There seems to be a lot of bunching up of all these Disney product at the same time that Disney Plus is just out. Does it make sense in terms of timing?"
I think it does. I think what Disney does is they keep their brand going. Frozen 2 crossed the $1 billion mark. It's very likely that Skywalker will hit $1 billion, which would be their 7th billion-dollar film released in 2019. This past weekend's opening for Skywalker is Disney's 7th $100 million debut in North America in 2019. They have 32% of the market share, and of course they have their streaming service, Disney Plus, running The Mandalorian. But
Paul, the reason why I asked the question is, how do you repeat that trick in 2020? If you look at their lineup for next year, they're not going to have $7 billion films, and in business, the name of the game is you try to increase your cash flows each year if possible.
Right. That's a good point. And by the way, for 2019 to have that many billion-dollar movies, I don't know that any studio will repeat that anytime soon. That was kind of an outlier, I think, for any studio to achieve that. Certainly for Disney going into 2020, I mean, they've got Jungle Cruise and Black Widow, the next Marvel movie, opening this summer. I don't know how you live up to a year like 2019 for any studio, but I think they have enough there, plus the Disney streaming, that will give them a lot going forward.
Okay, one final question, and Paul, Julia can answer this one maybe. I don't know. Do you think that there are families that want to see this film and say to themselves, you know what, I have Disney Plus. I'm just going to look at the clock and I'm going to wait a couple of months and hopefully this film will be on Disney Plus?
Well, I think that actually may have proven to be more of a thing with Frozen, and actually, because Frozen has the original one, and you have all the other, princess content on Disney Plus. Mandalorian, I think their question is whether did it drive more interest or did it distract from it. I think it's really going to be about the people who are on the bubble, people who are like, well, I like Mandalorian, maybe not families, maybe sort of the adult audience.
Paul, final word to you. They're playing us out.
Yeah, I think Disney's going to have an incredible end of year. We'll have to see how they do in 2020. And, of course, Disney Plus, always a factor.